think you need to give yourselves a great big clap for all the... Not only did... Well, I'll tell you what, I'd only got 2 tables first. And then we thought, think back to last year and what we'd got. So we've put another one. And now we've had to go on the floor. And with a trolley as well. You are amazing. Absolutely amazing. When you get home tonight, would you thank your mummies, daddies, grandmas, granddads, whoever's helped you out with all of this, and tell them that because of your generosity, some people will be eating. And that's a lovely thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Year 6, not just Blue class, but Year 6 are going to do their Harvest Hope service for you this morning. Now, I've got my fingers crossed because we've only rehearsed this twice, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I know that they're going to be brilliant. So you've got to listen very carefully and watch, and then later on we'll have a boogie. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Over to you, Year 6. John's not just said that.
Come on,
Okay.
Jack, we're late. I'm coming. Oi, don't eat the harvest food. It's only 1 biscuit. I'm starving. No, that you're just reading. Come on, you two. Stop arguing. The party's about to start. Okay, we're just coming. Welcome to the harvest dance. Have a go. Here's your chance. Keep in time. Tap your feet. Clap along to the harvest beat. Everybody come to the harvest fair. What a crop, lots to spare. Everybody come to the harvest fair. Lots of fruit to share. Apples, plums, grapes and pears. Fruits and veg everywhere. Radishes, broccoli, so much food that's right from seed. Lettuce, watermelons and beets. Cauliflower, tasty fruit. Celebrate harvest time. Learn the dance and get in line. Everybody come to the harvest fair. What a crop, lots to spare. Everybody come to the harvest fair. Lots of food to share. I can't wait. What a treat. It's all fit and strong, so we sing the harvest song. Everybody come to the harvest fair. What a crop, lots to spare. Everybody come to the harvest fair. Lots of food to share. Lots of food, things of food. What a crop to share. Look at all this lovely food. We'll be eating it soon. I can't wait. I'm still hungry. Now it's time to play a game.
How many foods can you name that all begin with C?
Well, there's cabbage and carrot and cauliflower. There's cucumber and courgette and chili peppers. There's some cherries and chives and cornflakes, which is made from corn like this. What about chocolate? Ooh, chocolate! And chocolate is made from cocoa, which also begins with C. Did you know that cocoa is made from beans? Beans? No, cocoa beans, silly. We've got so many things that all begin with C. Never mind C. What about B? We've got so much food. Did you see the news about the Stop.
Children, thank you so much for letting me come and listen to your assembly. Year 6, you are outstandingly good at what you do. Well done. And thank you as well for how generous you all are in bringing these things to be shared out at Harvest. You said something really brilliant in your sketch this morning, and I wrote it on the back of my hand so I wouldn't forget. Harvest is a time to be grateful and not greedy. Grateful and not greedy. And it's really important that sometimes we stop to think about how much we have. Some of those pictures from other parts of the world where people don't have as much as we have made me a little bit teary this morning. I was a bit upset because of what I saw. It reminded me of a special girl in our family who lives in a place called Togo, and her name is Mokpokpo. Mokpokpo. She lives in Togo, and she is very, very poor. She's 7 years old. She has absolutely no food, no money. She didn't even have a house when she became part of our family. She doesn't live with us. She still lives in Togo. But we send her some money every month, £25 to an organisation called Compassion. And for £25 every month, it's not really very much at all. It sounds like a lot, £25. It's probably 5 cups of coffee from Starbucks or Costa. That's all. Every month, so £300 a year, she can have a house to live in, clothes to wear, and go to school. And food. All of those things. Some parts of the world, people have so little that just a tiny little bit of what we have, if we're grateful and we show how grateful we are by sharing it with other people, a tiny little bit of what we have can make a huge difference to somebody's life. But let me tell you something. When I was a little boy, when I was your age, which was quite a long time ago now, sadly, when I was the same age as some of you, in the 1980s, whenever we thought about people being poor and not having enough to eat, we always thought about people in other countries. Always, always, always. And there were big concerts on the television, and rock stars and musicians and celebrities were always on the TV saying, let's raise some money and send it to Africa or other parts of the world where people don't have anything at all. But you know, I don't normally tell sad stories, I don't like sad stories, but let me tell you a sad story and then we'll fix it. Really sad story is that in our country today, not far, far away, but in our country, up the road, round the corner, in our country today, there are people that don't have food to eat. Does anybody know how many people? Let's have a guess. Have a guess. Your hand up really quickly, go on. 100 is a really big number, isn't it? 100 is just less than half this room, and it's more than 100. Go on, John.
1 million?
Brilliant! 1,100,000 people, so we'll call it a million. 1 million people today in our country haven't got enough to eat. Isn't that strange? Since January, for the last 10 months, 1 million parcels have been given to different families by food banks all over our country, so they have food for 3 days. 3 meals for 5 days. And some of your parcels of food today will go to the food banking crew and will be shared out. Let me tell you something else that's really sad, and then we'll fix it. How many children do you think are hungry today in our country? It's not a million. It's not 500. That's a really big number and a really good guess. It's not 500. Go on. 3 is, are you one of them? Are you hungry today? Yeah, I'm hungry today. No, it's more than 3. It's actually more than 500, but 3 is a really good guess. Come on, back row over here, let's see. 900? Anyone think it might be more than 900? Go on, Arnie. 700 is a great guess, but it's not quite right. One more and I'll tell you, go on, go for it. 5,000. That's a really big number, isn't it? 5,000. No. 200,000 children. 200,000 children in our country today haven't had breakfast, not because they didn't want it, but because there wasn't any food in their cupboards at home. Do Do you know how many that is? That's a big number. It's such a big number. It's hard to imagine how many children that is. Let me tell you how many. It's about 800 Western schools. So if we took 800 assemblies like this and spread them out so all the children could get in, that would be how many children all over our country are hungry today. It's really sad. And you know why it's sad? Because it doesn't have to be that way. And that's why your phrase, grateful, not greedy, is so important. Because one of the ways we show how grateful we are for everything we've got, and you have done such a good job, is to share it with people that don't have very much. There's a man in the Bible, a little old man in the Bible called Amos. He was a prophet, and his job was to remind people what God asks us to do with our lives. Amos was a really important man. He was a farmer. In fact, he was a special kind of farmer. He grew figs. He was a fig farmer. Don't say that in the Greek. He was a fig farmer. Maybe say it was a government week. And Amos the fig farmer knew, because he remembered what God had said, he knew that one of our jobs, when we've got plenty, is to share with people that don't have much. And he had a very special phrase. He said, let justice roll down across our land like water down a mountain, and let fairness spread out across our nation like the sea spreads out across the ocean. It's a strange phrase, isn't it? Let fairness spread out across our nation, across our country, like the sea spreads out across the ocean. And Amos basically was saying the only way we can fix the things that are wrong with our world, that people don't have enough, is if people like you, really generous and grateful children like you, never, ever, 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 ever forget that there are people who don't have as much as we have. And remember to do what you've done today, but not just at harvest time. Remember to do it all year round. Let me tell you one other sad thing, but let me leave you with a bit of hope that you might be able to change the world one day. Everybody stand up. Everybody, right? I've got 6, I'm not doing magic today, I'm really sorry. I've got these 6 silks. I want you to imagine that these 6 silks equates to all the food that there is in the world. So imagine all the food, not just this food, but everything that's in your cupboards, in your supermarkets, everything in the whole wide world. I've got 6 of them. 3 in this hand, 3 in this hand. Now, find 2 people who are standing together really, really well. Who's standing really nicely? You 2 hold those 3 for me, between you. Now, apart from you 2, everybody else sit down. In our world today, half of the food belongs to only 1% of the population. So if you imagine that you are the equivalent of everybody in the world, if I had to share out everything we had and only give it to half of it to 2 people, which means I'd have to share the other half with everybody else. Have to share the other half of all the food in the world with the rest of the world. Only a few people. Only a few people get half. It's not because we're all greedy and bad. It's just because things aren't always very fair. But Amos reminds us that little people and big people, anyone who remembers and never forgets that we have more than we need and we can share it, you can change the world. Did you know that? You, in Western School, on the 16th of October 2015, if you never ever forget, and you remember to share what you've got, you can change the world so that it's not just 2 people with half the food, but everybody has an equal amount. To do that, we might need God's help. So let me say a little prayer, and then I'll stop talking. Dear Lord Jesus, help us to remember how much we have and always to be grateful and not greedy. Dear Lord Jesus, help us to remember what Amos said, to let justice and fairness rule our country and rule our lives too, so that we remember to share what you have given us with those who don't have very much, those who are far away in other countries and those who are just up the road and round the corner. Help us, Lord, when we do forget, remind us in different ways, and bless what we have offered today. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thank you, children. You are always wonderful.
This food that you've brought in, children, the fresh produce is going to go to people who live round here, the old people who live round here. And the other stuff is going to go to Crewe, to the food bank there. So don't forget, like I said earlier, that somebody today is going to be eating because of you. So thank you very much. We're going to finish off with our boogie. Okay? Up you get, everyone.